Welcome to the Everyone AI course. By the end of this course, you're going to understand every single major AI buzzword, how AI works behind the scenes, and how people use AI to build real-world apps. You don't need any prior coding experience, because this is a course for everyone, and it's led by me, Ishveen Kaur, who is a high school instructor that makes sure that everyone can understand the concepts of AI. Today, the AI landscape is very confusing for anyone to understand. People throw around terms like RAG, agents, transformers, MCP, and fine-tuning, but they don't actually understand what those concepts are. And a lot of courses are either too simple or they deep dive too much for any beginner to understand. And this course sits right in the middle where you're actually going to understand how things work and you don't even need to write any code. Let's start with part 1, where we'll learn how things actually work behind the scenes. First, we'll begin by talking about how it actually all works. Like what happens when you type in a prompt into a chatbot? And what are these concepts like tokens and embeddings and LLMs and transformers? By the end of part 1, you'll truly understand the engine that powers AI. Then in part 2, we'll start to get practical. We'll talk about models and how much they cost, and how to effectively use AI with techniques like prompt engineering. Then we'll get to the interesting part, where you learn how developers actually build real AI apps with pipelines such as RAG and MCP and AI agents. After you do this, you'll move on to part 4, where you'll talk about GPUs and hyperscalers that help make AI apps real so that everyone can use them. Then, part 5, we start to get advanced, where we talk about how we can make models perform at the same accuracy, but decrease their size so that they can run faster. You're probably already using AI every day. Like when you ask Claude or ChatGPT a question, that's an LLM. When you use Google Translate, that's an encoder-decoder transformer model. And when you get recommendations from Netflix when you're watching a show, that's a machine learning model that's learned based on your previous watching behavior. You don't have to understand these architectures yet, because that's what you're going to learn throughout this course. One thing about AI is that it usually doesn't give the same responses for the same question, even within the same model. For example, ChatGPT answers my question about a fun fact about space by talking about how there's alcohol floating in space. But Claude talks about how a day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus. As you can see, these are two completely different answers to the same question. The main point is that AI is confusing and is also everywhere, which is why it's so crucial to understand how it actually works. In this first course, Everyone AI, you'll learn all the concepts needed. And you'll also learn how to use AI tools and how to build them, but you're not going to learn how to do these practically. That's the point of the Embedded and Embrace AI courses that I will be launching soon. The Embedded AI course will show you how to actually practically use AI tools instead of just telling you how to use them. And likewise, course 3 on Embrace AI will show you how to actually implement things like RAG pipelines and agents instead of just talking about how they theoretically work. Now you know what this course is all about. Next, we're going to talk about AI and some basic principles of AI. See you in the next video!